Well, good morning. And it's the last day of May. Hopefully you all enjoyed the long Memorial weekend. It didn't really feel like Memorial weekend because there was no sun. So usually that's like our first kind of like summertime feeling. I'm sure out in Arizona where Joe and Angie was, I'm sure it was sunny, not like it was here. So you two, I'm sure had experienced summer where we are not, unfortunately, right now. But really excited for you to hear today's lineup for OCCAP, and lots of exciting things happening. So if you wouldn't mind putting your information in the chat, and if there's any flyers or anything that you would like to share, go ahead and put them in now. So that way, when it's your turn to introduce yourself here in a few minutes, you can speak to that and people can go ahead and look at that. So we will continue to move on. So we'll go into rapid fire introductions, but we have Tamara, who's going to be our RY speaker, and then she's also presenting for us about Lighthouse and Orange County Recovery Collaboration, and then we'll do some updates and some closing. So my name is Megan Langston. I am the chair of OCCAP and also the CCO for Human Works Foundation. A couple things I just wanted to bring up at the beginning. We're partnering with North Orange County Continuing Education to provide a building trauma-informed communities training. And so we're accepting applications now for that. So if you, and this is more geared towards providers, okay? It is open to the entire community, but we're really trying to gear this towards providers. And so it's self-paced. It's going to be a 24-hour course. So you could knock it out in a week, or you could, take, the entire month to be able to take it. So we're accepting applications now. It's going to be running through June 5th to July 14th. And then also last month we did have a presentation with the tablets, and Carlos is here. I saw him pop on at some point. We have received those some laptops, or I'm sorry, not laptops, tablets. I keep saying laptops, tablets. So if you have any clients that are on any sort of government assistance or below living wage, we can qualify them for that, try to qualify them for those free tablets as part of the Access to Connectivity program. So I will go ahead and kick it over to Angela to introduce herself.
Awesome. Thanks, Megan. Hi, everyone. My name is Angela, or Angie. I am a formerly incarcerated woman, and I work with Megan with OCCAP and Human Works. A majority of you do know me, but some of you who don't, feel free to email me with any questions you have. I kind of handle everything else that Megan isn't handling because she has like 9,000 things to do. And we're just really excited to share the space with all of you. I will kick it over to Carol.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Carol, and I am
a lot of Carols.
Sorry. Hi,
Sorry, Carol Yuri. Sorry. Carol Human Works.
Yes.
Carol,
yes, I am the admin assistant of Human Works Foundation and the OCCAP secretary. I'm the one responsible for our social media and sending you these reminder and recap emails. So again, feel free to send out your flyers that you would like us to promote on our socials. I will drop my email in the chat, so if you need anything OCCAP related, just let me know. Thank you.
Awesome, cool. And then we'll go to Carol Yuri.
Hi there, ditto here. Carol Yuri, CEO, Returning Home Foundation. There should be a flyer for AB 1186. We're continuing to follow this, and I hope you all are writing some letters. It helps with restitution for those who are getting out of juvenile that have to pay restitution, have a rough time when they're coming out, but it also helps the victims. So we've got kind of help all around, and take a look at it if you have time. Have a good day.
Awesome. Thank you, Carol. And then I'll go to Rosa.
Hi, Deputy Probation Officer Rosa Lopez with Orange County Probation, and I'm assigned to the AB 109 Reentry Unit. Basically just here to get whatever resources you guys have so we can go ahead and offer that to our offenders. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Rosa. Thank you for being here. Lori.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lori Friedman, and I'm with Family Financial Management. I volunteer my time with their reentry population to help them with credit issues, debt issues, any kind of financial questions that they may have. And then for the vendors, I help you guys get on a firm financial foundation for what it means to you. That can be anything from debt management to student loan forgiveness, to wills and trusts, emergency funds, life insurance, retirement, rollovers, health insurance. I'm an Amazon of financial services. So please let me know if I can help you or your clients. Thanks, Megan. I'm sorry I've got to pop out in a couple of minutes. I unfortunately double booked myself this morning, but
No
thank you
worries.
for the time.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Lori. Jennifer.
Hi, good morning. My name is Jennifer Simeta. I'm with American Safety Group. We also have an academy where we do training. We've partnered with, so we do stuff with veterans, but we've also partnered with like the FO movement to give training to them and those justice impacted personnel. Now we're also working with down in San Diego, trying to help some of the juvenile justice impacted personnel down there. And I also met with Anthony last week. You talked about the tablets, and he and I connected with the FO movement so he can help them get those distributed to their youth down there with the FO movement. So
Awesome.
thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Good to hear. Joe Balecki.
Good morning, everybody. Joe Balicki, retired assistant sheriff for the Orange County Sheriff's Department. I currently work for the Orange County CEO's office as part of their reentry unit. And just a quick shout out. I don't have the flyer prepared yet. We'll get it out in the June meeting. In July, on July 20th, we're going to be doing our community partnership reentry meeting. And we will be focusing on employment development and employment opportunities. So for any organizations that are online today with us, I put my email in the chat. Feel free to reach out to me. I can get you the flyer sooner, but it will be July 20th from 3 to 5 p.m. at the probation building in the MRC, which is in the back. But you know, look forward to seeing everybody. And again, we'll focus on employment and employment opportunities. So there's other organizations that have other things that are mental health or whatever related. And we've kind of covered some of those topics, but this one's going to be specific to employment opportunities. So for all the organizations out there, I look forward to hearing from you, and I will get you a formal flyer by the time we do Megan's June meeting.
Awesome. Thanks, Joe. Hi, Sergeant Ramos.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sergeant Ramos, formerly from Sunburst Youth Academy and California Job Challenge. Those are two military academies located in Los Alamitos. I am now working with Orange County Conservation Corps. I'm a development specialist. We're here to serve youth from 18 to 30 years of age, get them to work and make an impact in the community.
Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, Sergeant Ramos.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Carlos. Seeing you 2 days in a row. One
Yes,
virtually,
good
one in
morning.
person.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah, just like you said, Megan, I'm with Ripe Distributed, and we have a contract with the federal government to provide your clients with free tablets and free cell service every month. So wherever they'll go, they can use it for searching for jobs, take interviews, training, learning. We preloaded with a bunch of apps for free, so they can use it for anything that they need. So if you guys have any questions, I'll leave my info on the chat. So if you guys want to connect, please let me know.
Great. Thanks, Carlos. All right. Nisha. Oh, you're muted. You unmuted and then muted yourself. There you go.
Okay, still on mute. Here we go. Good morning. We'll try this again. Good morning, everyone. My name is Nisha Jenkins, and I'm with North Orange Continuing Education. And as Megan stated, I am thrilled to partner with OC-CAP. We've got this exciting trauma-informed course that we are offering to providers, and we totally and highly recommend it. We've gotten overwhelming response to it. We really feel like it would be helpful to our community partners as they engage their clients at whatever capacity that they're working with. So we are just thrilled. So our veteran community, our formerly incarcerated community, seniors, grandparents, foster kids, any of those clients that you guys serve, we feel like it would be of a great help participating in this class. So you can certainly go through the pipeline through Megan's organization. And outside of that, we have a host of our other programs, whether it's our GED. If I know there's a workforce development fair or meeting that's going to be coming up on the 20th. We have a whole department that's dedicated to that, also through our Rising Scholars program that is specially designated to work with formerly incarcerated justice impacted persons in our community. And so certainly feel free to reach out to me. I'll put my email in the chat. And I think my colleague is also on the call, Eric Diaz, which I'll allow him to announce himself as well. But and he put some flyers in the chat, but feel free to reach out if there's any way that we could be of service to you and your teams. Thank you, Megan.
Thanks, Nisha. Eric, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks, Nisha, for that introduction. My name is Eric Diaz. I am a part of the outreach team along with Nisha at North Orange Continuing Education. And I specialize in, seeking out individuals who are looking to get their high school diplomas and or GED completions. That educational milestone can mean so much for the people that we service. So if you have any need for further support or further information along the lines of high school diploma or GED, please reach out to me. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Yanira Perez.
Thank you, Megan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Janita Perez with Moms Orange County. Just wanted to say hello and tell those that don't know about Moms that we serve families that are expecting a baby or have a baby under 18 months. So if you have a father that's in need of support, we have a father's group, a boot camp for dads. So I shared the flyer in the chat for those of you that are interested or serve clients in that category, that please let them know about our services. They're welcome to join us. The classes are free and we provide that service every other month in Spanish and English. And I also added my information in the chat if any of you would like further information. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Awesome. Thank you. Miss Lisa.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Nomura. I serve OC-CAP as the event and community engagement specialist. And I am also the membership organizer for California Coalition for Women Prisoners, which is a nonprofit that works out of the Bay Area. And I'm also a co-organizer for the Freedom Fest that we're excited about and look forward to continue to grow in. And I have recently graduated with my bachelor's degree in human services, as I am a Project Rebound Scholar at Cal State University, Fullerton. I am formerly incarcerated. I served 10 years on a 15-year sentence, and I've been home for 3 years. And I'm excited to continue to see OC-CAP grow. And I thank everyone here for their engagement and all the wonderful work they do in our wonderful county of Orange County. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. And so glad that you so happy for you and your graduation. So congrats and just thank you for all that you're doing. Danny. Oh, let me unmute yourself, Danny. There you go.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Danny Lansdale, and I too was a former heroin addict, meth addict, incarceration. Got 15 years in, and I got 11 years clean and sober. And since then, I've become a counselor, interventionist, and I started a foundation in 2017 called Stand In United, and we've managed to help hundreds of people. Our main population is the people that are homeless with nothing. The ones that get out of jail, the ones that get out of a treatment, the ones that relocate, or the ones that are in the riverbed. you know, the ones that have absolutely nothing, and we will put them in. We supply housing. We help with jobs. We help them need to get into a program, treatment, whatever. We're just here to help. And I'm just so glad that we're all here together because we're all serving our community, and it is just so rad. Sorry, I'm in the middle of breakfast at a restaurant right now, but I'm glad I'm here, and I love you guys. I love us, all of us. Anyway, thanks, you guys.
Thanks, Danny.
Megan.
Thanks, Danny. And I'm jealous that you're eating breakfast right now because I'm kind of hungry, actually.
Thanks. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Vaughn.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Vaughn Bernardis. I'm the program director at Carpenter Training Partners. And I'm sorry, I'm just having an emotional morning. I have two of my guys that graduated from our OC site, and they passed the union boot camp and they got invited to the 4-week training. So they're crying on the phone, and it's emotional because they were incarcerated and now they get to change their lives with a second chance, going into carpentry. So it's just been very, very emotional. But our program is every 4 months, we have a cohort, our next cohort in Orange County, more specifically Anaheim. We're going to be starting our cohort number 2 on June 8th. And thanks for having me. Megan, I think I'm going to have to, there's like a bunch of stuff going on, so I'm going to have to step out, but thanks.
You're good.
Thanks.
You're good.
All
Congratulations to your guys and, into the next step. I was very excited to attend the graduation over at Orange County Conservation Corps last month. So yeah. Let's see, Enrique.
Hello, good morning. My name is Enrique. I'm the program coordinator at Genesis New Beginnings in Huntington Beach. We're a SUD program for Medi-Cal. We offer IOP, ODF services and MAT services along with prenatal care services.
Awesome. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Lupe.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lupe Mendoza. I'm with Orange County Probation. I'm a probation officer here at the AB 109 Reentry Unit. So everything that Ms. Lopez said, we do here. But nice to meet you all. This is my first time at this meeting.
Awesome. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Let's see. Jenna Lynn.
Hi, everyone. So sorry, I was having trouble unmuting myself there. I'm Janelyn Santos with Chrysalis. We're a nonprofit organization that assists individuals in addressing their barriers to employment through providing one-on-one support and resources. But if you have any questions or would like me to come visit your site or speak to your participants or talk to your staff about our services, please don't hesitate to reach out. I did put my information in the chat, but I'm happy to answer any questions or do any warm handoffs as well. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for being here, Jenelyn. Farah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Farah Bailey. I have a nonprofit called Forever Free. We do community outreach and jail and prison inreach, currently serving clients within the Orange County jails and 3 of our prisons, looking to expand and learn more about what everyone in here offers. And I just want to say happy birthday to Tamara. Thank you, everyone.
Oh, it's your birthday, Tamara?
It is.
Oh my gosh, happy birthday. You didn't tell me that. And that's a good segue, Farah, because now it's time for Tamara to introduce herself. She's going to be our ROI speaker and then also our presenter. So Tamara, if you want to, when you go into, after you introduce yourself, letting us know kind of how you grew up, how you became justice involved, what led you to turn your life around, what programs helped you, and what your future plans and goals are.
Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Megan, for asking me to be here. It's such an honor and a privilege, and it always is, to be able to share my story with people. So, and to be here, yes, it is my birthday. And it was also my I celebrated 15 years of sobriety on Friday, so so I'm excited about that as well. So I am a person in long-term recovery, and so how did I grow up? I actually, I grew up in La Palma, which is, it's a little small city in North Orange County, and I grew up, upper middle class, and my parents got divorced when I was like 4 or 5 years old. But my mom, my mom didn't drink, she didn't smoke, she didn't do drugs, she never did any of that. She was a great mom. She raised me and my sister, independently on her own. And we had everything we could have ever wanted or needed. Growing up, we never went without. And I was a straight A honor student all the way up until high school. Well, actually till the end of high school when I decided to drop out. But my dad, on the other hand, he started moving farther and farther away. My dad was a really bad alcoholic and an addict, and he ended up he was selling drugs in North Long Beach. And when I was 12 years old, so I don't know if some of you are old enough to remember, they had the DARE program in school, in elementary school. It was in 6th grade. So they're basically like, hey, if you see this, like, call the police. And I saw a whole lot of this. And when I was in 6th grade, I called the police, and my dad got arrested and went to jail. So I was like so anti-drug, like I was president of Red Ribbon Week at school. I mean, like all these things, right? And then the summer before 9th grade hit, right? And I went to a party, and I had my first drink, and that was it. That got the ball rolling. And from there on out, I was still a straight A honor student basically up until, but I started using and drinking, and that went along till basically till right before my senior year. I decided that I didn't want to go to school anymore, because it was just more important to go down to Huntington Beach and like smoke weed and drink and not go to school. And now in between all that time, my mom, back in like the 90s, it was a really big thing to like send your kid to rehab. And rehab wasn't like it is now, right? They didn't have all these fancy residential places. Everything was in the psychiatric hospitals, right? So I got put in basically in hospitals 15 times between the age of 12 to 18, because actually before I started drinking and using, I had behavioral problems. So it was just a long, every time I did something wrong, my mom was like, put her in the hospital. But you know what? She did the best she could with what she had, right? And she saved I truly believe that by doing all of that, she saved my life. She prevented anything, bad from happening. It was, so when I finally became justice involved was, they always said that, like, so I gotta back up. So I got introduced to 12-step programs, right, when I was going, when my mom kept hospitalizing me. And, they always kept saying, this thing about like, if you keep doing what you're doing, you're going to end up in like jails, institutions, or death. Like, that's just how it goes. And I'm like, oh, not me. I'm from La Palma. We don't do that, right? We don't go to jail. Well, that eventually happened. And in 2004, when I was out drinking, I made some really poor decisions, because when I'm drinking, I'm just a liar, thief, and chief. A liar, cheat, and a thief. Sorry, talking real fast to get through this. And I made some really poor decisions, and I made a false police report. which stemmed into some other things. And then what happened is I said something happened that didn't happen. And then I took victim witness money for something that didn't happen. So that landed me with 3 felonies and a misdemeanor for, because I took money that didn't belong to me. I reported a crime that didn't happen. I fought the case for 2 years. I had this wonderful public defender, right? I just talked to her yesterday. She's got the same phone number, and her name's Bernadette Seymour, and she retired a long time ago, but I called her yesterday to let her know how I was doing, and it was amazing. We haven't talked in, decades, right? And it was just amazing to catch up with her and tell her how I'm doing now, and it's just how different my life is. Today than then. So basically, but the whole time I kept lying, like I didn't do this. I did not commit. And you guys, there was videotapes. There was videotape of me, like, to prove that I was lying about this crime, right? But I was so delusional because of my alcoholism, just completely delusional. That I lied the whole time, but anyways, they wanted to give me like 4 years and 8 months in prison. Thank God that didn't happen. They were able to play it off on my push my whole mental health stuff, and I didn't get that much time. But I did have to go to the county jail, and I did have to, I had to be on house arrest for 9 months, and I had a new baby, right? And so that was hard. It was hard to be on house arrest with a baby. But I did it, and then I was on formal probation for 3 years, and this is where my life changed. So 2 years into formal probation, I had an amazing probation officer. Her name is Eunice Wynn. I think the probation officers on here might even know her, because I think she was doing reentry for a while. So Eunice Wynn, this woman, I would go in, so I had to go in like every 2 weeks, right? And she would go in, and it wasn't like an in and out. This was like, I would be like a half an hour, sometimes an hour. And she would talk to me about my life. How are you doing with your kids? How's your relationship with your mom? What are you doing with your life? And it's just the compassion that she showed and the interest in my life that she showed, it really made a difference. But what happened was 2 years in, a friend of mine said, hey, let's go to Vegas. And I was like, oh, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go. Well, when you're on formal probation, you're not allowed to leave the state of California. So I did anyways. And my thinking was, well, now I'm not drinking at this time, but I'm not doing any type of recovery program. I'm just abstinent. I'm just not drinking or using. So I thought it was a great idea, and I end up drinking in Las Vegas, and for a month and a half after I come back, I am drinking and using cocaine and smoking marijuana. I go to see my probation officer. Within that time, she obviously realizes something's not right, and she threw a mouth swab test on me. You can't dilute those. There's nothing you can do. And she asked me, is it going to be clean? And I said, well, without hesitation. Now remember, I'm a liar, a cheat, and a thief, right? Without hesitation, I said, well, I found one of my stepdad's old spoons and I licked it to see what was on it. So I don't know, it might be dirty. Now, I really believed in my delusional thinking that I had just told the best lie ever, that she totally bought it. And I walked on out of there. She said, I'll see you in 2 weeks. I walked on out. She just had this straight face. I walked on out. I got in the car. And then I realized, it was like this light came on and was like, maybe that wasn't such a great idea. So I called my public defender that I had, the one that I talked to yesterday. And I told her, and she's like, after she laughed at me hysterically, she said, there is no way that she bought that story. If you want any chance at not going back to jail, you better call her back and be honest with her. So I called her back and I told her the truth, and her response to me was, "I'll see you in 2 weeks." And I'm like, "Okay, but am I going back to jail?" She said, "I'll see you in 2 weeks." But am I going back to jail? Anyways, I asked her that 3 times. On the 3rd time, she said, "I'll see you in 2 weeks," and she hung up the phone. Now, what happened in between that time? So my stepdad got sober a month before I did. So what happened right before I had to go back to see my probation officer was my parents had invited me to this like barbecue thing at this program that my stepdad was going to Twin Town Treatment Centers at the time, and they have this alumni program that has activities all the time. So they invited me to go. Like, I know I hadn't eaten. I had my kids with me. I know, I don't know if they probably hadn't eaten either. So I went to I was hungry. So I was like, you know what, free food. So I went. I sat next to this man, and I cannot tell you to this day what he said to me. All I can tell you is that he shared the love of recovery with me that day. And I've been sober ever since. But when I went back to probation, I also had Eunice Wynn, her push, right? It wasn't, it was also this outside push from her as well, and her encouragement. And she handed me this list, and she's like, because I said, I started going to AA. She's like, well, that's great, but I want you to get some education. And she gave me this list, like, of probation approved places at the time. And she's like, by the next time I see you in 2 weeks, you need to be enrolled in one of these programs, and you need to start going. And I did. I got enrolled. I don't even know if the program's there anymore. I don't even remember the name of it. It was 15 years ago. It was some little program. It was right next door to what used to be the Fullerton Alano Club, which isn't there anymore. What I did was I found I'm a good alcoholic. I called every single one on the list. I found the one that had the least amount of requirements, that cost the least amount of money, and that was the one I went to. But at the same time, I was going to 12-step meetings. And because of the seeds that were planted from all the places my mom had sent me growing up, I knew what I needed to do. I knew I needed to get a sponsor. I knew I needed to go to meetings, and I knew I needed to work the steps. So I did all that. My probation officer was also like that extra outside accountability. I really didn't want to go back to jail. I went before, and I did ever want to experience that again. It's not fun. I really wanted to get off probation. I had 1 year left, right? That's kind of the story of where I went, of what happened, right? And from where I was then to where I am today, like, I mean, now, okay, so when my case was going on, they had the prosecutor kept calling the news stations and the media and having them show up, because it was this huge story. And he was a brand new prosecutor, and I don't know if it was like this was going to be the story that made him, or what it was, right, at the time. But I was on the 6 o'clock news, like, I was in all the media. I will not even go back to my maiden name because of all the media that there was on it, right? Like, I mean, if you Google it, it's like, oh my, it's so bad, right? And so I refuse to go back to my maiden name, even to this day. And it's not that today I'm not ashamed of it. I have no shame, because of all the work that I've done through step work in the 12-step program. But it's just something, it's really, honestly, it's just something I don't want my kids to have to see, right? But today, because of all the work I've done, I don't have to walk around with shame, and it's a story that I can use, right? And it's a story I can use to help other women and other people in recovery, because there's a lot of people that come in, especially justice involved, that are really ashamed and or embarrassed of the things that we've done, right? Of the crimes that we've committed and the things that we've done, and like, oh my gosh, how can I ever be seen in a good light? How can I ever, be a productive member of society? How can I ever be respected? How can I ever respect myself for the things that I have done? But man, I was told early on in recovery that like there's nothing that I have done that somebody else in recovery hasn't already done or hasn't done worse, right? And I have found that to be so true, and I'm not alone. And so it's really great to know that I'm not alone. And today, oh my gosh, my life is so different today. I'm a respected member of the community. So I started, gosh, I've been working in treatment, I think since 2010. I got sober in 2008. I've been working in treatment since like 2010. I became a certified drug and alcohol counselor, and I'm employable today. I'm a good mom today. I'm a good daughter today, right? Like all these things, like when I was drinking and using, my oldest daughter, I used to say my mom took my kid away from me. That was the way I told it. That was the narrative. My mom took my kid away from me. But that's not really what happened. And I found out through my recovery, then through working in my recovery, that no, the honesty, when I get real honest with myself, my daughter was in the way of my drinking, right? She was in the way of the way that I wanted to live, right? But to be able to get to that point where I could see that, it actually took a lot of years sober for me to get to that narrative, right? And it actually took a lot of years sober to get to the point where I could even share my story about what I did, and what I even did to go to jail, to carry that without any shame, right? So, and now it's it's not a story that I just share with anybody and everybody, because it is pretty personal, but I do share it where it needs to be shared, and mostly in the rooms of recovery, and mostly with women, right? Or other people who, when it's going to help somebody, right? And I've learned today that I really used to have like zero boundaries and just tell everybody everything, and but at the point I'm at today, I've learned how to have boundaries, and how to respect myself and how to respect others, right? And I'm still learning. It's always still a learning process. But today, I mean, oh my gosh, my life is so different. If you would have asked me, 15 years ago, or even 10 years ago, that I'd be, collaborating with police officers today for work, I would have been like, you're crazy. You're crazy. Or that I'd be working with politicians, to help get, to advocate for bills. I'd be like, you're crazy. Like, I hated politics, but today, that's what my life is about. My life is about advocacy. And for Anaheim Lighthouse, that's what I do. I'm a community and government relations manager, and so to have the opportunity to be able to do this, it just blows my mind when I look back at how my life was, and then how my life is today. My mom, just recently was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, so today I get to be that daughter that, is there for my mom as a daughter, instead of being that daughter that, was always causing havoc in my mom's life, and my mom really, she really did the best she could. And sometimes she drives me crazy. She does. But she was there for me. She was the one, she bailed me out of jail, right? When I had my arraignment, and they put me in the holding cell, right? I was breastfeeding, and when I had my first court date, and I was indicted by the grand jury, so I never even got arrested with my stuff. So yeah, it was really embarrassing. It was very embarrassing to my family. It put a lot of shame on my family, especially with all the news stories that went out and being on the news, with everything being in the newspapers. And back then there was a lot of newspapers, but with everything being in the news, and it was just, but today, like, my family's proud of me, and they could never say that before. They could never say that they were proud of me. I was always like the problem child, right? For years. Once I started drinking, I was, just a problem and embarrassing, and they were ashamed of me. But, today, throughout the work that I've done, I've been awarded like woman of distinction from a senator, an assembly member, a congressman, and to get those, even, it's just so surreal when I get things like that. It's just like, wow, and a lot of them know my story. And a lot of the police officers that I work with, they know my story. And in fact, I had a couple of Anaheim police officers one time, we were sitting in the car, and they're like, man, you inspire us. And I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, you inspire us. Like everything where you were at, and with what you did, and where you're at today, because they know my full story, like where you're at today, like you inspire us. I'm like, you're crazy. Like, no, really, you inspire us. And and a lot of the people that I work with on the advocacy level, they see that. And so to be seen in that light is just, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful that I was able to turn my life around. And I really, I always go back to, whenever I share my story, whenever I share my recovery story, I always go back to that pivotal change was my probation officer. It really was. And if I hadn't had that probation officer that gave me that chance, that had that compassion, I don't think I'd be here. I definitely wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be here today. I don't think I'd be sober. I don't even know if I'd be alive. The rate I was going, I'd either be in jail or be dead. I'm absolutely convinced of that. So I'm so grateful that that she stepped in, and that she had that compassion, and that that she obviously noticed something wasn't right, right with me, and that she gave me that chance. And today I work for a company that trusts me to represent them in the community. And I've actually been there for like 10 years. I never held a job for more than, I don't know, that, not very long. I've never held a job that long, ever. I mean, especially when I was drinking, I couldn't hold a job, and I was always getting fired, or just leaving, just not showing up, right? Or quitting because I got mad, or really just not showing up. And now, I can work through things, and I do a lot of advocacy. I go up to Sacramento. I've gone to Washington, D.C. for advocacy. I do a lot of advocacy right here in Orange County, in the addiction world, right? And so a few years ago, back in 2017, and that's another thing that I'm here to share about. So, okay, so Anaheim Lighthouse is So I work for Anaheim Lighthouse. We're a treatment center for substance use. We do, we're residential, and we do intensive outpatient, partial hospitalization, and we're men and women. So well, actually all genders, I'm sorry. We do all genders by 18 and over. And we do trauma care. We're dual diagnosis licensed by the state of California. And if you want more information about that, you can go to anaheimlighthouse.com. We take most major insurance companies. What we don't take is we do not take Medi-Cal or Medicare. But we take most major insurance companies, and we also have a contract with Kaiser and some of the veteran insurance. So like some of the forms of TRICARE and things like that. But we also work with the city of Anaheim. We've had a long-standing relationship with the city of Anaheim, and we scholarship beds for them for their homeless liaison officers. So I work really closely with them. And then, so about back in 2017, I was over at a previous council member's house, Jose Moreno. I was at his house for a little get together, and the previous mayor of Anaheim, Tom Tate, was there, and we got to talking, and at the time I said, you know, there's all these collaborations and coalitions in the county for homelessness, but there's nothing that, you know, is specific in regards to addiction and recovery. And he said, oh my God, that's great. Yeah, you should put that together. And I was like, oh my God, I just got myself like into more work. But so back in 2017, we started the Orange County Recovery Collaboration. And we had our first meeting, and oh my gosh, so many people showed up. We had a resource fair. It was amazing. We meet once a month, and it has been going since 2017, and we still meet. Anybody is welcome to come. When COVID hit, we went online, so now we're hybrid. We meet in Anaheim up at Recovery Road. I posted the flyer in the chat for that, and that's really it's exactly what it sounds like. It is a recovery collaboration, and everybody's welcome. So we have everything from the county comes. We have the county, we've had board of supervisors, we've had legislators, we have different types of legislators come into that meeting. We have colleges, like for instance, Santa Ana College comes. We have just different members of the community. We have sober livings come. We have hospitals come. I mean, just all different, MAT resources come. We literally have like all kinds of different types of resources that come in to pull together and just to talk about, you know, what can we do to make it better here in Orange County, to get more resources out to the community. We have a Facebook page. It's literally just Orange County Recovery Collaboration. That's where most of the work happens. People can go in there and, you know, either post what's going on, like if they have an event or something, and then they can also post, hey, you know, I'm looking for, I need a sober living for, you know, X, Y, and Z, you know, these are what I'm looking for. And you'll have, your problem will get solved. Whatever it is, the problem's gonna get solved pretty much in that group. It's absolutely amazing. We've helped so many people through that. And you can make a lot of connections. You can get help for your clients, for your friends, for your family. It's absolutely amazing. We have members of the the advisory board, the behavioral health, I forget, they changed the name of it, but the behavioral health advisory board for the county. We have a couple members that come and they're a part of it. So they're the advisory committee that advise the county on basically what the county should be doing in regards to substance use and mental health. So they come, I mean, it's amazing group of people that have come together to just serve countless people in Orange County. So that was just a passion of mine, and it just keeps going. I was just really shocked that it just kept going, because it was just some little thought that I had, but that's, you know, that's what I do now. I advocate in every way that I can. And, you know, and then my advocacy touches other areas, and, you know, and because of my sobriety and my recovery, and because of all the people that I've met and all the work that I do, you know, you know, another part of my story is that my youngest daughter, well, she's graduated high school in June, but you know, she is transgender. And actually, because of the Orange County Recovery Collaboration, I was able to get resources for myself when she first told me that she was transgender. And so I was, you know, and but because of my recovery and because of my sobriety, I have been able to walk through that with grace and with support from others. And I have been able to be like the best mom to my daughter. And like, she sent me a birthday message this morning telling me I'm the best mom ever. So, you know, and you know, that wasn't always the case. Like I told you, my oldest daughter, you know, I gave her away to my mom, right? Because she was just in the way of my life, right? So it's just, like I said, my life is so different today. It really is. It's just, I can't even explain how different it is. And just, you know, my future plans are just really to keep on going, you know, like today, right after this, I'm going out to La Quinta for the West Coast Symposium on Addictive Disorders. And, you know, I just keep going. I just want to, you know, there's this saying that, you know, if you're not growing, you're going. And, you know, I just want to keep growing. I just want to keep helping as many people as I can. And, you know, to do that, I have to share my story. You know, I really have to, I have to share my story. I have to recover out loud, you know, and because if I stay silent, you know, I can't help others. And, you know, you know, I'm also on the board of Forever Free. So Farah Bailey, who's I think I don't know if she's still in the meeting, but she was in the meeting. She has a nonprofit that she started called Forever Free, and one of the main focuses is criminal justice, helping those who are you know, involved with criminal justice. And I'm on the board of that. And I mean, Farah, yes, Farah is amazing. I see that comment. And you know, I mean, the work that Farah does is so amazing. And you know, you know, to be able to even attempt to try and help her with her vision is such an honor and a privilege, you know, and she does such good work out there. And she does a lot of street outreach, you know, and so a lot of the people that, you know, and she does a ton of jail and prison inreach, and she really helps these people that have, you know, no resources and nowhere to go and nobody to help them. And, you know, she's taking phone calls on her own dime, you know, paying for, you know, I mean, she's helping these people out of her own pocket, you know. And so to be able to be on something like that is just such an honor. And you know, and you know, then I'm a legislative chair on something called CASA. It's a California Alliance for State Advocacy. That's an addiction group. That's an advocacy group in the addiction industry. And you know, and I'm just like nowadays I'm involved in so much stuff that like I'm all over the place. But really, so my future plans and goals are just to keep on going and just to really just make a better place, and to really just keep breaking down the stigma that surrounds addicts, you know, and you know, just by doing things like this, by sharing my story, and to just keep moving forward and to stay sober. Because if I don't stay sober, you know, then none of this is possible. But to also, you know, in sharing my story, it also, I think it really helps bring together law enforcement, you know, because there's also a stigma against law, you know, there is a stigma against law enforcement, you know, that there's this whole stigma that law enforcement's bad. But, you know, law enforcement saved my life. My probation officer saved my life. And she like refuses to take credit for any of it. She always tells me it was all the work I did, but in my heart, she totally was like the catalyst that really absolutely saved my life and launched me into the life that I have today. So I just want to again thank you for having me here. It was such an honor and privilege to be here today.
Well, thank you so much, Tamara, for sharing your story and sharing, you know, how you started Orange County Recovery Collaboration and the work that you've been doing at Anaheim Lighthouse and the services that the organization provides. You've just absolutely, you know, are an inspiration, right? You know, for anyone, not just those that are, you know, in recovery. Right. But just for those that, you know, wanting to make the community a better place. And so thank you so much for that. And I think that, you know, Nisha sent me a side message and said, you know, I would love for her to join the training if she could for the, you know, building trauma-informed communities, because I think that would, you know, benefit, you know, everyone, right? So hopefully if you have time, it sounds like you're doing like a bazillion different things, but at least it's self-paced. So if that was something you wanted to do, you know, just let us know. But, you know, thank you so much. I know in the chat, there was lots of stuff that was being said, lots of praise and congratulations to, you know, everything that you've accomplished over, you know, the last 15 years that you've been sober. And kind of like what you said, that, you know, you credit your probation officer, but, you know, maybe she's the one that really inspired you, but you're the one that's continually putting in the work. So, so yeah, so thank you so much. Does anybody want to say anything to Tamara? Questions for her? No? Okay, well, thank you so much, and appreciate your time. And you know, I'm so glad you know, that you're able to celebrate your birthday with us today. That's such like a privilege and an honor. So thank you so much. And you know, I'm hoping that you have a great time out at that conference out in La Quinta. The weather will be nicer out there than it is here, that's for sure. No gray clouds, hopefully, out there. So we'll just, if no one has any comments besides what has already been said in the chat, you know, we're going to continue to move on with the meeting. We are still going inside the jails. We are resubmitting a lot of applications, like Susan and Danny and Lisa are all resubmitting their apps for clearance right now to renew it. And so we're kind of paused and going inside at least this month. Next month, hopefully we're able to schedule and get them in. So if you aren't already on the CAP flyer, in our recap email and our reminder emails. We have the link that you can register so that we can put your logo information that you want shown on there, so that when I go inside with our ROI or lived experience speaker, we're able to share about your organization. So feel free, if you're not already on here, if you don't know if you're on here or not, you can just reach out to me via email, or even Carol, and she can let you know whether or not your organization is on there. And so the next PAC meeting, if you didn't know, because with the change up over at Parole, Agent Sabota is no longer in that position. And so now it is Agent Tong. And so he's sending out the emails. So if you got dropped off that list for some reason, let me know, and I can also reintroduce you to Agent Tong. But it's still at Streetlight Church. It's still the second Wednesday, so that's June 14th at 10 a.m. And then Hire, one of our community partners. A lot of you were all at the Hire event a couple weeks ago at the Honda Center. So they're having their youth resource fair on June 22nd, and it's in the late afternoon. So it's from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And it's in Santa Ana Project Youth. So if you'd like more information about that, let me or Carol know, and we can always help connect you with Hire. Lastly, just circling back on the building trauma-informed communities training that's happening thanks to North Orange County Continuing Education. So again, we're looking to help inform providers really, but it is available for your clients if you're wanting your clients to go, or parents as well. That's also great. So it is self-paced. It's a 24-hour course. And it is virtual, so it makes it completely flexible, very easy. And so if you would like to apply, just email me, email Carol, or just email contact us at HumanWorks. That goes to myself, Angela, and Carol. One of us will reply, and we'll send you that application. And then also, if you have any clients that is on government assistance and needs access to, a tablet with Wi-Fi, please let us know. We'll send you the link for them to register, and we'll start the qualifying process. Next month, I'm sorry, and then we're still looking for anyone to sponsor, so that when we have speakers like Tamra, or anyone else, that we can, give them like an Amazon gift card, right, for their time, because it's, everyone's working, right? Everything is really expensive these days, so it just helps ease everyone in the long run. So if you know anyone that would be interested in sponsoring, please let us know. And then next month, our meeting is June 28th. Same time, 10 to 11:30. I like to end early, so today we're going to be ending at least 25 minutes early, which is always great, unless anybody else wants to share anything. And so this will be our 4-year anniversary, which is just crazy, that we survived COVID, that we started in person in Huntington Beach and the HumanWorks office. And then, transition to doing, completely virtual. And then there was like the hybrid. Now we're just back to virtual because it makes it way easier for everyone. But just, again, thank you for all of your support over the last several years, and really looking forward to, having the Sheriff's Department present the tablet program that they're in the process of rolling out inside the jails. And so being able to provide, access to programs and access to being able to connect with individuals on the inside. So does anybody have anything else they would like to share before we hop off? No? Okay, well, thank you so much, and love giving people, 25 minutes of their life back, and ending early. Again, Tamara, thank you so much for sharing your story and all the accomplishments that you've had over the years. And, thank you for being an inspiration, and happy birthday again. So just glad you're able to spend it with us. So thank you so much. Have a nice day, everyone.